on and share my Battle Troll build. I've only shared it with a couple people, but with people being a lot of the major powers, a lot of people don't usually pick Quantum, and then I've seen even less people actually use the Battle Troll kind of thing because it's hard to master. I mean, I'm not the best by any means. I'm sure there's a better loadout out there, but I figured since there's not a lot of videos out there on it, I figured I'd share with everyone. Alright, so to get started, what I run is, obviously since I'm Quantum, I run my power push, of course, and then I run Singularity, which is the black hole that you throw, little thing that sucks everybody in. Then you run, that is also your defense debuff, that's important. Then you run Warp Barrage, which is this one, which is your damage debuff. And then I run Anomaly, which is a, it reduces their healing, but it is also your supercharge builder, which is super handy, because if you want to keep popping those, these boot shields, super handy. And then you basically have one slot left over. You can kind of pick and choose what you want to put in there. A lot of people use Gravity Well, because that adds that, that power interaction, your Graviton charge. Otherwise, you could use, I mean, you could use Time Bomb to Battle Troll, but the problem is it's very slow. Like, the way I Battle Troll is a little bit different, but it still hits some good numbers, but still keeps everybody full of power, keeps the stuns, keeps all that stuff. So, basically what I do is if you throw a Singularity at them first, that is your power interaction, your Graviton charge. And then if you hit them, alright, so that's that. So if you hit them with Lift, which is this far right one here, normally it just does one target, but if you have them Graviton charge, it damages everyone in the area and also sucks them all together, which is super handy for tanks. Otherwise also good for AoE powers, so if you have DPSs that are a lot of AoE, really good for that. And then, so basically what I'll do is I'll throw a Singularity, I'll throw a Lift out there, get them all together, and then I'll stun them with Anomaly. Usually I do it faster so they don't blow apart like that, but you throw an Anomaly and then you throw your Warp Barrage. So basically you just covered your whole loadout of your debuffs for whatever enemy it is you're targeting, and now with the new artifact, your debuff can jump to nearby targets, which is also super handy. But you can also clip this stuff. So I've been a big fan of hand blasters for a long time, so what you can do is you can do the tap, tap, hold for the range button, and you can do this kick, right? Well, when that ball hits them, you can also throw a debuff and a power push, all in the same motion. So you can go like this. So I threw a Singularity, hit them with the ball, and did a power push all in one motion. So it's hard to master, it just takes practice, it's just timing, that's all. But it works with pretty much every power in this loadout. So you can go like this. You can do a Singularity, and you can do, say, an Anomaly with a power push. You can do a Warp Barrage. And then if you get the alternate, like if you're on PlayStation, it's hard to do, but you can do your Lift. Oops, my bad. You can do your Lift on your right side too, and then the power push, but that's a different button. Get that power interaction. It's really hard to do because you have to alternate from one hand to the other, because my power push is my left hand and my Lift is my right hand. So that's basically the gist of it. I mean, you can keep throwing this stuff as long as you have power, and then basically, like here, I'll run out of power real quick. Once you get down to the point where you don't have enough power to just keep spamming abilities, what you can do is keep doing that clip with the kick, because if you keep doing the kick, that gives it a couple seconds to give you a 1 or 2 ticks of power. So you can kind of keep doing this for a while until your cola recharges, your supply drop. I mean, this is a very, very heavy power consumption troll build, but if you know how to work it, it's super handy. But I mean, it's basically just throwing, you basically just want to throw your Singularity before your Lift, and you want to throw your Anomaly before your Warp Barrage, because Anomaly is your destabilize, and your Warp Barrage does extra damage to destabilize, and your Singularity is your Graviton Charge, and Lift does extra damage with Graviton Charge. So it all kind of plays together. It's what I use to help me do extra damage. Alright, so now that we've got that down, so basically what I do is I don't use any weapon masteries. I just do all of the abilities for the hand blasters. I do the mastery just because it helps do a little bit of extra damage when you use the mastery. But I mean, it probably works with any other weapon. You could probably find a combo that you could clip with, just like I was doing, but just with a different weapon. Hand mastery is just my preference. And then I do all of my supersonic flight, and then all of my encasement, my root, my power back for breakout. I grab all that stuff. And do I have any iconic? No, I don't have any iconics. Alright, so obviously I've got a lot more skill points. Not a lot, I'm not trying to brag. I've got more skill points than some people do, so this is more of an advanced build. You need probably more skill points to do this effectively. But your first priority, since you are still trolling, is to grab your power crit chance and your power crit magnitude. These are an absolute must if you're trolling, because otherwise you're not going to be able to keep power flowing the way that you should be. After that, you want to throw as many points as you can into vitalization, because like I said, you want to keep the power going. But beyond that, any extra points that you have, what I did is I went to might and power first, because you can go up to 100 points. Every 10 points, you get a percentage added to your power and your might, which might is very helpful for your damage, so battle trolling, and your power just makes your power pool bigger, so you can throw more abilities, more debuffs, things like that. So it gives you that little extra breathing room, which is super nice. You can put more points into this, you just don't get a percentage after the 10%. So I kind of stopped at 100, and then after 100, I started putting my my points into my critical attack chance and my critical attack damage. This is also really, really helpful, because if you didn't have any points in here, you would never be hitting crits, and you would never be hitting as big of numbers as I do. I mean, I still have a few points to go. I still need 7 more points to get in here, which means I'm going to be doing more damage eventually, but it's still pretty effective this way. And as far as, oh, my bad, you do want to go super powered for this build. I go hybrid for my actual just straight troll, not battle trolling build, just pure vitalization, pure dominance. But this one, since it's more focused on damage, I didn't put any points in dominance. I still get stuns fairly often. I mean, I don't get them all the time as if I had like a ton of dominance, but my stats are high enough with me being max level where I still get stuns fairly consistently. But you do want to go super powered for this build, because it gives you that extra might and that extra power, but it also gives you that power regeneration, so you can keep throwing these moves. The weapon mastery in between is kind of just for a little bit of time for your power of the time, to give you a little bit of power back, and it's also just to get a couple extra hits in. I think I clicked that one too early. Oops. See that lift over there is hard to do because you got to alternate hands. There it is. But it works. Let's see. Did I forget anything? But the nice thing about this is you don't necessarily have to just spam powers right at the beginning. You could probably do this hybrid. You would just have to use your weapon a lot more. But for example, if instead of just like spamming a bunch of powers right off the bat, and then waiting for it to go back up, if you just waited, let's refill it, and then you started with just your kick, and you just did that every time, you could keep power fairly consistently. I mean, I'm using my weapon, but I get power back from abilities more with this, but you can stay powered for quite a while, and this is without any supply drops, colas, anything like that. But the nice thing about this build is if you run group shield is your supercharge. You can, like for example, I'm almost out of power right now. So what you can do is pop that group shield, and it'll give you some more power back. And it'll also benefit your group, of course, because it'll shield them and it'll give them power back too. Otherwise, you can use colas, supply drops. Also good to use all the time. And then with the new consumable artifact, the cola here, I have mine maxed out, so it gives me, I believe it's 90%. I want to say it's 90%. Yes, 90% of my health and power. So if I'm out of power, I can just throw that cola in there. It'll fill me back up, and also it acts as a small power push to everyone in your group when you use it. So that's also helpful because it counts as giving power to other people too. So while you're sitting here spamming and giving yourself power back, you can also give everybody a little bit of power when you not only do your power push, but when you do that cola as well. Beyond that, I mean, I think that's about it. Let me think, is anything else? I'm trying to think. Like I said, this is a tough thing to do because it takes a lot of skill points. I mean, I'm still putting in the work trying to get more skill points so I can max out these crits. If you're gonna do this with less skill points, I mean, I suppose you could kind of skimp on the Vite a little bit. Just do the 100 points to get the 10%. It's hard to say. I mean, I've never done it that way. I didn't start battle trolling until I was like 350 plus skill points. So I mean, I've never really had to deal with it low level, but I am happy to try and help people figure that out if they have questions. Beyond that, I think that's about it, but if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Leave a comment down below. I will try to get back on any questions. Here pretty soon I will probably release a video for my DPS build as well as my just plain troll build that isn't for damage. And I might do a video of this battle trolling in action if I get an opportunity. This is kind of just to show off the gist of it. But I guess thank you guys for watching. I will talk to you guys next time.